Hi everyone! Today is Friday, March 20th, and this is Jeanne-Marie Taylor of Jeanne-Marie Taylor Muse, Readings, Healings, and Meditations. And I'm so happy to be with you today to share another message that's coming through for us right now as we globally meet the needs that we all have and that our neighbors have and that our communities have with respect to coronavirus. Well, what really came through for me from my angels and guides today about what I should talk about is the theory of 3 feet. Are you familiar with that? I remember hearing about this years ago from someone who had been and just an amazing Navy SEAL in the U.S. Navy, just a special elite soldier. And it really made an impression upon me in terms of our ability to stay calm and grounded, even when we are in a precarious situation. And ever since then, I've never forgotten about it. And what that Navy SEAL talked about was what his drill sergeant had said to him when he was in basic training. He had said to his soldiers, to his people in training, you can only be responsible for the 3 feet around you. Focus on the 3 feet around you only. And this is advice that was given to him as he was really nervous. At the time, his drill sergeant was up at the top of a cliff, and he and his fellow soldiers were learning how to scramble up a cliff with just, a rope and their wits and their physical strength, and it was extremely hard. It was extremely hard because climbing to higher ground is always going to feel hard. It's always going to feel like a stretch, right? It's always going to be grueling. But what his drill sergeant yelled at him as he looked down, as the soldiers started like, oh no, I'm nervous, I have a fear of heights. They're looking down. The drill sergeant was up above saying, only focus on the 3 feet around you. And that means the 3 feet to each side of you. But that also means don't look down. If you're climbing, don't look down. Don't be nervous. So I think it's beautiful advice. And I want to talk a little bit more about it in a broader way for a moment. How do we each create a peaceful coexistence with each other if we are not first experiencing peace within ourselves, with our breathing and with our bodies? So this notion of being a curator, a careful curator of your peace, a careful curator of what's happening in the 3 feet around you over which you have control. It's an amazing idea. It's an empowering idea. We can control that personal 3-foot circumference around us. You can think, just imagine a bubble of beautiful light around you, of your 3-foot barrier on every side, and just imagine that it's filling up with light. It's filling up with light that's streaming down to you from the heavens, helping you to seek out higher ground, helping you to seek out deeper relationships with others. And what if we were just calm? What if we were just calm within that 3-foot space around us? How can we be in our space in that way, even if we're trying to climb to higher ground? Even if it feels like there's an earthquake, the earth is shaking all around us. This is all about cultivating our personal space, our personal 3 feet of peace. And I want you to imagine that what you do right now with this 3 feet around you really makes a difference. Because it does. It really does. So what if you were to charge up that 3-foot space around you with love, with unconditional love, with love for yourself? What if you were to allow your heart to overflow into that 3-foot space around you? And what if you were to allow calm thoughts into that space? What if you were to follow my voice and allow my voice to bring you just for a moment into a deeper state of relaxation? You can always go back to your busy day later. But what if you could just imagine for just a moment that you're a bird at the beach and there's a wind all around you and you're hearing the sounds of the ocean waves crashing and you are just gliding. You know, birds also have their 3 feet of space around them, although maybe it's more like 3 inches. I don't know. We'll have to ask some birds. But I love sharing this idea with you. This is how we get a sense of personal control, personal liberty. You know, we can't control other people's lack of calm. We can control our lack of calm. We can send our light out into the world. We can send a peaceful vibration out into the world. We can sit here within our 3-foot sphere and just emanate light. And so that's what I call you to do today. I call you to just take your hands, kind of put them around yourself, touch your body, remind yourself that you're here. This helps us to ground ourselves when we're anxious. And just remind yourself that you will make it, that we will all make it, that it'll be okay. And just remind yourself of all of the things that you've handled in life that at the time you probably felt like no way could you handle that, or no way could your community handle that, and yet you did. So I invite you just to tune into that. I invite you to cultivate your 3 feet of space around you as a sacred space, a peaceful space, a sanctuary. And you don't have to hold this space for yourself all day, but if you can get into that space, even just once or twice today, and tomorrow and the next day, you're going to start to live your life differently. You're going to start to make your decisions from a place of calmness and groundedness rather than a place of anger, of confusion, of frustration, of fear. 3 feet of peace. This is what we can all cultivate right now. So hold that in your heart, and you can put your hand over your heart if you like. And as you breathe out, just imagine that you are breathing out into the world your calming essence so that you can help all those around you. And you can lift yourself and everyone around you up just a little bit higher, a little bit more above fear-based thinking, even though that's normal. We never share anyone who has fear. We never shame anyone who has fear, by the way. It's totally normal, but we can just let it dissolve. So I hope you've enjoyed this message today, and I will be back with you tomorrow with another uplifting message. Thank you so much for listening. This is Jeanne-Marie Taylor Muse.